last point I wanted to stress before my conclusion is when we wisely adopted Prop 209 in this country, I had been a state senator before and had urged the law to be changed in California so that we wouldn't be using race at the University of California system. And a number of administrators at the UC system spoke about how if we had to not take account of race, there would be many Asians. The reference was made in a manner as to suggest too many Asians. It was deeply offensive to me, particularly because of all the races, and there have been many instances of unfair treatment in our country. God knows it, I know it, we all know it. But the record of California is particularly painful and shameful in how we Californians have dealt with our citizens, our residents of Asian ancestry. Consider the Chinese Exclusion Act. Consider the deportation to inland camps of Japanese Americans whose parents or grandparents happen to be Japanese. Last summer, I visited Manzanar near Long Pine on the 395, the eastern edge of the Sierra, where Americans were shipped to, away from their homes and family, away from their businesses because of their race. This is what California has done to residents and citizens of Asian ancestry, and I won't tolerate it. So that's why I sponsored in the state Senate along with my good friend and colleague, Senator Quentin Kopp, a bill to prohibit the use of race. It did not succeed, but the Board of Regents of the University of California did adopt that policy, and then the people did. I'll conclude with a set of numbers because this really tells the argument to its heart. In 1996, before Prop 209 was passed, Asian Americans constituted 36% of the matriculating students at UC Berkeley, actually. These numbers are UC Berkeley. The Asian Americans are now 39.7, but went from 36 to 39.7, a slight increase. Latino Americans went from 13.4 to 25.45 over the period of time from 1996 to today. So let me repeat that. It's an increase of almost twice, almost 100% increase in the Latino Americans. African Americans went from 3.7 to 3.87, and Caucasian Americans went from 38% to 19%. So what's happened over the time since Prop 209 is the Hispanic American, the Latino American numbers have gone up. The Caucasian Americans have gone down. That's reflecting the increased number of Latino Americans who have been graduating from high school and are qualified to go to UC. The Asian Americans have held about equal. Latinos have gone up substantially, as I said, and the Caucasians have compensated for it. And the African Americans have held. So today we are asked, shall we reverse 209? There is no compelling story that the record after 209 has been terrible. Blacks, they're about steady, and Latinos have doubled. So focus instead on what will happen if we return to the days when a Californian, an American, gets a letter from the university of her state for which she has been paying taxes and of which she is proud, that says she's on an Asian waiting list. That's the effect, because by creating the change in 209, the overrepresented group will be diminished, the underrepresented groups increased. But as I pointed out, Hispanic, Latino are not underrepresented from the historical record. But in terms of the population of California, and here I'm just going to admit the facts, Asian Americans are 15%, and they constitute 39.7% of the first-year class at Berkeley, which I say, God bless each and every one who qualified to get in on her or his own merits. The Latino population is 39% of the state of California and 25%. And the Hispanic, the Black community, 6.5% of California and 3.87%. So that's the argument, because there are higher percentages of African Americans and Latinos in the population than there are in the entering class. The proponents of Prop 16 wants to take from Asian Americans and give to Latino and African Americans. And that's not right. It's unfair. To the individual who did all she could to qualify and to succeed, who had been told all her life that she could be or he could be anything that person wanted to be. It is un-American, it is un-Californian, it is an offense to fairness to be told you may not because of your race. Thank you.